Hello, everybody. It's Sunday. It's the 23rd of March, 2025. It's Who's Views. JT here, live at 6. Yes, it's 6 o'clock here in the UK. Nice to see you all. How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome to the show that gets you warmed up for your big show. Yes, of course, Headlines is here later on tonight, live at 8 o'clock here on the channel. Hey, how are you doing? Nice to see you all. What a week it has been. Honestly, what a week this week has been. So much going on again. What is it? The world is crazy, isn't it? It's gone absolutely insane, and spurred on, of course, by these incredible ideological far leftists who think they're doing the best thing in the world by telling us all what we have to think and do and how we. Honestly, it's just shocking what's been going on. And yes, of course, I am, of course, talking about this guy. Yes, RTD, you would have seen or heard about his rant last week. Oh, we're going to be coming to him, everybody. Absolutely. Oh, he winds me up. I don't know about you lot, but he winds me up big time. Really does. Hello, Right Charlie. How are you? Nice to see you all. Thank you very much. He's saying evening, Who viewers. Are you ready, Right Charlie, for a big evening here on the channel? I hope you are. Bill. Hiya, Bill Lowry. Good to see you. And Legion of James. Hiya. Oh, and there's your doggies. Hi, everyone. Here's to surviving another week in Clown World. I'm glad it's not just me. Honestly, because it just seems like that, doesn't it? Really, it's absolutely outrageous. Paul Stenterford is with us. Hi, Paul. And Shelley, hello. And oh, yeah, PTA. Hello, Paul Thomas Ashworth. How are you? Really, really good to see you. And Adrian is with us. And Who Janus. How are you? How are you, my friend? Nice to see you. I still love that. Look at him, the legend that is in that picture there. Oh, I must go and watch some of his films. Craig, hiya, Craig. Sam as well. Oh, it's great to see you. And Arjon. All right, Arjon. Nice to see you. Stylish new specs, JT. God love you for noticing. Yes, thank you very much. Do you like them? I think they show my eyes. I love them, actually. Yeah, new specs weekend for me, everybody. But thank you for noticing, Arj. Paul Stenterford, yeah. Oh, no, not him again. RTT is trying desperately to keep himself relevant. I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more. And he keeps blundering about with all this ranting and raving and turning a blind eye to certain other things. The homophobia in some of the stuff he is actually endorsing and encouraging. And he doesn't seem to realize, or if he is realizing, as I say, he's just completely turning a blind eye to it. Absolutely outrageous, isn't he, Paul? Thank you, Doc Martin. Nice to see you. He's giving me a little wave on that particular one there. Look, Julianne, how are you, Julianne? Hope you've had welcome to the madhouse in so many ways. Thank you, Doc Martin, for us saying they look cool glasses, and Arjon is telling me they look great. Thank you very much. Yeah, they're not bad actually, are they? I thought I'd treat myself, Who viewers. Oh, Forbidden Man. Nice to see you. And Andy's Vinyl. Hey, nice to see you as well. Thanks for your email, mate. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Tell us, JT, what's the arse said now? Well, we're going to come to that, Bill. I can guarantee you, because there's a lot to talk about him when he's done that. I just want to, first of all, say thank you to everybody that joined us on our show on Wednesday, which I really enjoyed our show. As you know, at the moment in March, we are doing a series of shows marking the 20th anniversary of Reboot Who. Which culminates this week, of course, on Wednesday, the actual night, 20th anniversary night, where we're reviewing Rose. But the Wednesday just gone, we did the highs and lows of Reboot Who. Is it time to call it a day? So thank you for all of you that were with us. We had some fantastic comments on the chat. I really loved it. I thought it was a great show. And what came through for me, and I was quietly surprised, was the sheer response to the show that we've had, and so many people getting in touch over the last few days since Wednesday saying it has to call it a day. And I've only had a couple saying, well, no, it can be saved by doing this and this. But I would think that even if there's a break for 2 years, that's still a rest. It might be a short rest, but it's still a rest, isn't it? And as far as we know, there's nothing coming after these 8 episodes that are about to be launched on us, is there? So, wow. But I wanted to read you some of the comments, if I may, actually, from everybody that we got about that. Now, we ran on the channel a poll, a nice, easy poll that we use the results of at the top of the show on Wednesday. Basically, is it time to call it a day? Yes or no? Nice and simple. We've actually had some extra votes on there. We've now currently had 151 votes. 83% of those 151 votes said, yes, it is time to call it a day, which means, of course, 17% saying, no, it's not. 83%. Absolutely amazing. And thank you all for leaving comments. I just want to go through some of them. Tim Kintz was saying yes, though as you'd imagine, it's taken lots and a lot of thought for me to get here, but absolutely yes. The Last Babes sealed the deal for me. That would be possibly Tim Kintz, the one in the in the trailer, the latest trailer. Atherstone 55 said it's a hard one to answer. I wanted to say no, but it can't be fixed with the BBC, Bad Wolf, and all modern writers. The whole industry is infected. It will have to be cancelled. Ecstatic Brick, great to hear from you, my friend. Hope you are well. There's one way to save it. Find a new writing staff who actually like Doctor Who for what it was. Make a season 14, undo the Timeless Children and everything that followed after it. They won't, though, so it's time to rest it, unfortunately. Yeah, I have to agree with that. As I said before, RTD had one job when he brought back Doctor Who after Chibnall. All he had to do was bring all the fans back together and just write a series and produce a series which was about a Time Lord in his TARDIS traveling through time and space battling monsters. But no, he had to triple down, didn't he, and put his agenda in it and all this nonsense and all that pronoun stuff and all the stuff that, you know, I can't stand. A lot of you, of course, on the same page. Paul Stanford in the chat with me, he actually said on this, yes, it's absolutely time to call it a day. It's heartbreaking to think of how they've damaged the show permanently, in my view. Yeah, I'd agree with you. The classic series is the pinnacle of the show, which I feel will never be bettered. It's had a good run, but now it's time to leave it be. It's heartbreaking when you hear of us all saying these sort of stuff, isn't it? I mean, we're fans of this show, and they've just alienated us all over the last several years. You're not wanted, go touch grass. You're not wanted, go touch grass. Ugh. Kinder Cull 7714, yes, but only because of RTD and Bad Wolf. If another production team and new showrunner were appointed, I would give it another go. As it is, it could be that RTD has a hand in who succeeds him. That's a bit of a worry, isn't it? And that would be a huge mistake. We need someone completely new and with fresh ideas. Mudcrab, he said to us, yes, I voted yes, but technically no. The time to call it a day was during the Jodie era. It had drifted off. None of it made sense. People weren't watching, but they weren't angry. That's a very good point. I do sense a lot of people being tired right now, over it, fed up with it, exhausted by it, but also there is some anger in there as well because of what the show has been utilized for. Julianne, you left us a message as well, my lovely. Yes, it needs a rest. Never let any of the usual suspects near the show again. Here to that one. Count 1970 lives. Not if they change the showrunner, Doctor and whole team, otherwise yes. And the core of sci-fi and fantasy left us a message saying definitely time to call it a day, way past time. I never really cared for Modern Who anyway, and I hate with a passion the David Tennant era. I watched Eccleston, who's a great actor, but the scripts were cringe and some episodes were completely unwatchable at points. I came back in with Matt, who I liked far more, and could certainly see an improvement in the series under Moffat. That lasted up to season 10, and then everything, as we know, went to pot. So yeah, definitely time to cut your losses and go. Rogue WJL, thank you for leaving a message as well. Yes, it's time for hiatus. Politics and political minds have a pendulum effect, and as a nation society people, we will have to swing to the centre ground, or at least some way to the right, for much of the nonsense we have seen destroy the show and Trek, Star Wars, etc., for any chances of a successful comeback. Yes, I know what you mean by that one. We're actually, I've got some things I need to get off my chest in this particular live at 6 that tie in with what you're saying, Rogue. So I hope you're watching, or I hope you're going to get to see this. STZ0752, let it rest a long while until there's no chance of Davies, Moffat, or anyone at all connected with the last 20 years of New Who being put in charge. I'm not impressed with any writer currently working in UK television. The originality, creativity, and quality has been missing from UK writers for decades. Doctor Who needs a good long rest until we have some genuine creative talents out there. I reckon they're out there, ST. I just don't believe they're getting the break. Or if they are, they're being muted or have to bend the knee because of the industry. And yet I look at something, I'm going to mention him, Toby Whithouse's reboot of Bergerac. I'm gripped by that. Gripped. Episode 4 was on this week. Or you can stream the whole 6-episode series. I'm old-fashioned. I like to do it every week. Very good. And I can't see any of the agendas in there. And I still say he was the foreigner that we were robbed of. I think he would have done a marvellous job with Doctor Who and got it back to basics. Paul Ashworth, I know you're in the chat. You voted yes as well. Thank you. And Jory GL. Is that how I say it? Jory GL? Jory GL? My brain says yes. My heart says no. Oh. Despite the utter destruction of the series, which has been going on for the last 7 years, arguably longer, my emotional attachment is so strong that it's hard to let go of hope. If the series continues as it is now, an ideologically driven mess, then yes, put it out of its misery. If there's a hope of getting a showrunner who only cares about good science fiction storytelling, Toby Whithouse, anyone, and a great male doctor and female companion pairing, then no. But I guess it would be a miracle if we got that, and I'd take enormous effort to attract the public and the fans back to the show. Yeah, that's what I've been saying as well, Jory GL. I mean, it's now so down in the gutter here in the UK. It's going to be a lot of work for any new production team to put a fresh slant on it to get people coming back in, especially if they've got in living memory what happened with Whittaker and Gatwa and their eras. And Random Lad 8753, no, but it needs a rest and a serious rethink how to move the show forward and not get back down with identity politics. Thank you for saying that, Random Lad. He spotted no, it doesn't, shouldn't come off the air. It hasn't had its day, but it does need a rest. Really good opinions there from everybody. So thank you so much for leaving those messages for us on there. I really appreciate it. I'm going back to the chat now, so let me see what I've got here. Paul Thomas Ashworth, thank you so much. Hashtag RTD out. Hashtag Starmer out. RTD is killing who? And Starmer is killing, allegedly, the disabled. Well, I'd say more than that. I think he's actually on a crash course now to try and damage the country as best he can. Personal opinion. You'll notice here I am actually looking. Can you see this? That's my Free Speech Union badge, of which I'm a very proud member. I'm wearing my Free Speech Union badge. I'm going to be telling you more about the Free Speech Union very, very shortly. Rory and Cheryl, and friends too. Nice to see you. A lead actor who can lead the show would be a start, wouldn't it just? And no DEI tick boxing. Doc Martin, I've been a Doctor Who fan since '74. I was 6. I stuck by it though through highs and lows. I just want it to end now. It's just so sad, isn't it, how a lot of us are feeling like this. Legion of James, it must be rested at this point. It can't be saved as the fans have left. The bad taste left from 5 years plus of garbage and insults have tainted it too much. It'll take time before fans will entertain more. Yep. We've also got this one from William Orlock. Nice to see you, William. How are you? Happy Sunday to you. They've been alienators for well over a decade, and it started with Moffat and Golden Age Geek. I called it a day back in 2018. Yeah. I did as well. But I came back for Gatwa because I thought, up until the Davros thing on Children in Need, I thought this possibly could be quite good. How wrong was I? Darlakai, nice to see you. And right, Charlie, what are you saying to me? Call it a day. Can we just call it the stinking pile of crap that it is? You of course can. On this show, you can call it anything you want to. Shelley Ingle, I saw a teaser for the titles revealed. It reminds me of Bioshock, but I have a feeling that it will turn out to be a secret level on Amazon. I don't like most of the episodes of Secret Level. We are going to be talking about those episode titles, of course, in your big show here on the channel, Headlines, at 8 o'clock this evening. I am so looking forward to seeing what Paul and Third Doctor Ian have to say about those episode titles. Oh, can you imagine what those two are going to be saying? You know, I bet that I'm actually quite, they're rubbish, aren't they? But I can't wait to see what those two are going to be talking about. Hi, Sheila B in the devotion. How are you? It's nice to see you. Adrian James, have you heard about Blue Peter ending? I am very sad about that. Now, it's not ending. We've got to clarify that. It's not Blue Peter, which we've covered before here on the channel. Blue Peter is the longest running children's television show in the world. It started in the 50s. It's a magazine show that we all grew up with. It's been live since the early days, not the Chris Chase and Neela Williams days, but certainly it went live with Val and John and Chris, usually twice a week, sometimes once a week in these modern days. It now is going to be pre-recorded and shown on Children's BBC and BBC Two and iPlayer and something else. What a shame. It's no wonder the kids of the United Kingdom now are nonsense. They have to go to a channel of their own. In my day, it was all on the mainstream channel, as it should be, I think. Sometimes I think that it's all crazy the way they've done things. Absolute craziness. But yeah, Blue Peter. It's an end of an era, sure, absolutely end of an era, Adrian, isn't it? Like they've stopped it live and they're just pre-record. Because part of the brilliant thing about things that are live is that anything can happen. Anything can happen, especially when you've got an elephant walking around your studio, eh? Oh gosh, or when they were doing the makes, remember when they were guys, or Leslie Jones or Sarah Green or Tina Heath or whoever it was couldn't get the absolutely happy days. Happy days. Mark, hello, Mark Greaves. Or if it gets put on hiatus and eventually comes back, do we then call it New Who? Exactly. I've been saying for ages now, this thing is 20 years old. They can't call it New Who anymore. Because it's not. It's actually 20-year-old Who now, isn't it? Old Who. Hello to David. Hi, David. One of the sad things is we just don't have the caliber of sci-fi writers anymore with great ideas for adventure stories. It needs to take a good walk like Seven and Ace at the end of Survival. R.I.P. My Who. Oh, David, yeah, I know what you mean. We had this the other week where Pauline and I, somebody in the chat said on one of our shows, who could write the show now? And we all went, silence. Because nobody comes to mind really, because they're all in that industry terrified, aren't they, of not bending the knee and not following the party line. Shocking. Hiya, John. I honestly do not think it can be brought back to the way it was, sadly. Oh. You're the second person to say that to me, John, as a fan this week. Another fan, friend of mine, said something similar to me. And it hits you in the face when it can't be brought back the way it was. You don't expect it to be a carbon copy, do you, of the Superior Who that a lot of us will all know, 63 to 89. But you want something that is recognisable as Doctor Who, like they sort of managed in the early days of this reboot. Sort of managed. Yeah, when somebody says something like that, it really does slap you in the face, doesn't it, Who viewers? Because it's sad when you're hearing fans saying it can't be done the way it was. It just makes you think, what will they do to it next? Smiley people. Schoonful Scoundrel S is a fantastic movie with Terry Thomas in it. Hi, JT. Hi, Smiley people. Yeah, Terry Thomas is a fabulous talent. Was a fabulous talent. Is a fabulous talent. Let's talk. Well, we are time travel fans. Sharda Knox, it's nice to see you. And right, Charlie's having a laugh by saying, Keir Starmer as showrunner. What could possibly go wrong? I wonder. If an improved series is one day made, says Robert Payne, it should have more than 8 episodes. Too few episodes doesn't give time for word of mouth. I agree. The problem is it's so expensive now, isn't it? But there's ways and means it can be done. I'm absolutely sure. And this is the other thing I would say, Robert, is if we take it back to 25-minute episodes as well, and use 4 episodes or 6 episodes even, cut down on sets and casting and production values and stuff, it might help. It might help. Terrified Monk is saying, wait, I thought we all liked Disney Who. I must be on the wrong channel. You're so funny. That's brilliant. Gosh, yeah. Nice to see you all. Nice to see you all. Old Paul Stanford saying old hat Who. And what rubbish are they going to put in Blue Peter's place for Bin Matt? Well, nothing, because it's still going. It's just going to be recorded, and it's down to 1 episode a week now, apparently, on the channels it's going to be shown on. Yeah. Hello, Connor. Connor Simpson's joining us. It's nice to see you, Connor. Welcome to Who's Views. Not seen you before. And here's Philip. Hello, Philip. Does RTD know how to write straight roles or straight dramas? Does Gatman know how to act and play a straight role? That is not acting or writing. A good writer and actor can write and act, as Peter Capaldi proved in his stint as the Doctor, as far as I'm concerned, because he got some real whippet dung, as Mr. Baker would have said, scripts, didn't he? But he managed to elevate them and make them passable because he's such a good actor, you know? And yet his success does not necessarily have that talent. Sharda Knox is saying to us, it can be sorted, but won't be, as sorting it will be an admission that the current lot have got it all wrong. Cancellation is coming. And Andy's final saying, unfortunately, modern TV rules won't allow any vintage television format to make a comeback. To be honest, Andy, I don't really want as much of that vintage television, the proper television, as I call it, coming back. I mean, Bergerac is the exceptional. Creatures Great and Small is another exception. We'll have to see what they do with the Foresight Saga remake, which is called The Foresights, which I spoke about on Live at 6 last week. It's the industry. It's just the industry. They all seem to be complete left, far left loons. Quite frankly, I'm going to say it. They really do. It's very bizarre, and we've got some examples of that in this very show. Have you seen these? These are bits and pieces that came to my attention this week, including this lady. This is Shobna Gulati. Shobna Gulati, everybody. There she is. There. Now, Shobna Gulati. Thank you to Bill Lowry. Thanks, Bill, for pointing out and telling me that Shobna Gulati has been in Doctor Who. Now, I didn't know this because, of course, I wasn't watching the Chibnall era, but she apparently played Yaz's mum. So some of you will know her as Yaz's mum. I know her for Coronation Street, Dinner Ladies, and the musical Everyone's Talking About Jamie, for which she is pictured in front of one of the cards there for. Can you see? She's been doing Everybody's Talking About Jamie for quite some time now. She plays Jamie's mother's best mate. Now, I first saw this show. This is a show. Okay, bear with me. This is a show based on a true story about a boy in the Yorkshire area that wanted to go to his, what I used to call school disco because I'm British, but apparently now we have proms. They've Americanized, no offense, but they've Americanized that here in the UK, and they have proms now. And he wants to go to the prom in drag. Okay, so this is before all this lunatic drag race and all, it got real bad. Okay. And of course he wasn't allowed. The school said no. Now you can understand where the school is coming from that. You know, you can understand it. This is before, I mean, nowadays they'd let them go as anything, wouldn't they? You can see the difference in 15 years maybe. Anyway, this was a huge theatre hit, a massive theatre hit. I've seen the show 2 or 3 times. Very good show. I really enjoyed it. Don't watch the film. The film is terrible. And Shobna's in that as well. Do not watch the film. It's absolutely terrible. It doesn't work. Even with Richard E. Grant in it, it does not work. It's a terrible film. Sorry, but it is. But the play was brilliant and very joyful. You know, it was full of life. And as a same-sex attracted man myself, I found it quite sort of empowering to the point where I'm thinking, oh, it's sending a good message about, you know, claiming your same sexuality. Now, God knows what's happened with the show since I saw it, but of course it will be part of all this TQ cult nonsense that's going on now. And I read more and more about the casting of these youngsters that are going into it, and I just know that they are all part of this cult. And it looks like Shobna herself has been listening to these people, because look what happened in the headlines this week from the London Standard. Coronation Street legend, that's going a bit too far. Shobna Gulati comes out as non-binary in candid interview. I've become more happy describing myself as a person, she said. I've never had a word for it, but I've learned from our younger generation what that might look like in terms of a word, because I know what it feels like in terms of being me. The star, who lists their pronouns as she and they on Instagram, also shared that she is currently in love, but would be happy to date men or women in the future. Now, that's what we used to call bisexuality. You know, Shobna, darling, you're nearly 60. Grow up. What's she doing? Is she attention seeking? Is she? Are these people so in show business so, you know, desperate to sit with these kids and listen to what they're being preached to by these kids? Oh, non-binary. There is no such thing as non-binary. Would the adults please come back into the room? Honestly, where are the grown-ups? You know, you people like got Shobna going into the press talking about this, and you've got RTD ranting and raving about what he's up to as well. I just don't get what she's talking about at all. Real ridiculous, heaven's sake. Craig Dunlop saying to us, when I saw Shobna there, I immediately suspected she'd be in the new series as Shooty's dad. Well, yeah, well, apparently previous one. I didn't know that either. Hiya, Bedweer. How are you? Prom, give me strength. Exactly. And Bill saying now the school wouldn't dare say no. Oh, I've got a story about a school coming up for you in this show as well. We've got here far left loons. Now we have schools not celebrating Easter as it might offend. Forbidden Man says, yes, that's the story I want to come to very shortly. Stay with me here. Hiya, Kirsty's here with us, everybody. Hiya, mate. Shobna needs attention. Doesn't she just? What's going on? These people are just, they frustrate me. They frustrate me. They're supposed to be adults. They're supposed to be leading the kids and showing the kids right from wrong. But instead, it's the other way around. This far left lunacy. It's like it's like an infection, isn't it? It's like it's just everywhere. Philip, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. Quote from Albert Einstein, and he was so true. So true. Hugh is saying to me, 25-minute episodes, build some cheap futuristic looking hallways, etc. Rubber Monster 2, you're halfway there. Yeah. You can't. I don't think you do all the rubber stuff, but I suppose you can. Yeah, you can do good stuff these days, isn't it? You can do good stuff with it. Robert is saying it's a shame Victoria Wood isn't around to give Shobna a bit of northern sense, or at least make a good joke of it. Exactly. I hate to think this whole story about Shobna, Victoria Wood, British comedian, genius, absolute fantastic. I was a big fan of Victoria Wood. She passed away a few years ago. What would she make of the world as it is today? Because you can't be funny, and her comedy would probably be on the cancellation list, wouldn't it? Really, let's face it. Especially something like Dinner Ladies, which was comedy gold, but would probably offend the minority, who would then scream and shout about it, wouldn't they? Legion of James saying comes out as non-binary. So did she do a Miss Pop Off and vanish? No, she's still around. Has Shobna been brainwashed, says John? That's the question, isn't it? Can't people just be bisexual anymore, says Mark A. Wright? No, apparently not, because there's this pansexual and all this other stuff coming up as well, isn't there? What? And in America or Canada, one of the two, they've got this two-spirit nonsense. What the hell is that? And what's that got to do with sexual rights? Oh, unbelievable. Jason Parker. I hate what Gulati said. I have learned from younger people. Dear, you are 60 almost. Adults who have left the room, get a grip. Exactly. And where are the adults that are going to come in and not put some sense back into people? They're terrified. That's all it is. Now, this is what I thought, Bill. Career on a downward slope, so looking for attention. And Adrian is saying to me, it will be 9 years this April since Victoria Wood passed. It's just amazing, isn't it? Amazing. But Adrian, what would she have made of this current society and world we're in? Eh? What would she have made of it? Julianne saying to me, there's the problem straight away. Learning anything from younger people, it should be the other way around, Mrs. I totally agree. I totally agree with that. And it's our responsibility as adults to say to kids, well, that's nonsense. And instead of doing that, what's happening now is they're all going, oh, you want to be a poodle. That's fine. Yes, that's fine. Oh, you want to identify as the moon. That's fine. Get a bloody grip, for heaven's sake. It's not fine at all. Honestly, Jane Smee, I just want to stop them having the opportunity to do any further damage to the show, I would imagine. But I suspect it's already too late for that. RTD will have thrown everything at this series. We'll soon see, because it starts in a couple of weeks, doesn't it? So we'll soon see what he's done. Bearing in mind that, as I keep saying, he would have been in the same frame of mind he wrote the first series with. It's a good job he's not writing it now, because Doctor Who would be full of anti-American, anti-President American nonsense, wouldn't it? Really, he would really go for it, wouldn't he? But that's all going to be in his Channel 4 drama, I'm sure, Jane. Julianne is saying, why do these people think we care about their dating habits? Nobody cares about their dating. What I care about is that we're allowing people to go around living in a fantasy and then enforcing it on the rest of us. There is no such thing as non-binary in human beings. You cannot be non-binary. You are male or you are female. It's as simple as that. You cannot be non-binary. And we've got people going around in the public sector, in government, in business, in finance, all around us, endorsing this mental ill health, as far as I'm concerned. And I think, no, refer them to the nearest decent psychiatrist. That's what I think. And Legion of James, all the language around this nonsense is insulting to the highest degree, comes out as non-binary. It's grifting attention on nonsense. Yeah, that winds me up as well, Legion of James. You don't come out as that. They're using a term that, that's been around for decades, and they've, again, like everything else that's LGB, they've grabbed it as their own. Oh, they're coming out as non-binary, they're coming out as transgender. What a load of old nonsense. It really is. They're not at all. Not at all. Dalek Eye, Victoria Wood was a genius, wasn't she just? Bedouia saying, I miss Victoria Wood's comedy so much. I've got all her work, Bedouia, on DVD. And I made sure I had it all in 2020 when we were in that awful situation, just in case anybody tried to cancel us. So it's all there. And I love it. I go back and watch Dinner Ladies every year, both series. Absolutely. Absolutely. What we got? And one of the famous lines, if you don't know, is this one from Bill: "Hit me on the bottom with the Woman's Weekly." Yeah, fantastic song. Hello to Nothing. Hello, Nothing. I love that. That's great. Not seen on the channel before. Welcome to Who's Views. This is the reason I keep my DVDs. And a wee kiss. Oh, well, thank you, Nothing. We kiss back. Yes, it's so important. We say that a lot on the show, don't we? And Paul and Ian are great believer in that as well. Physical media all the way. I know Bedouin is on board with that. Physical media all the way. Make sure you've got that, because they can't take that off you. You can have it buried with you if you like, but they can't take it away from you, I tell you. Oh, but nice to see you, Nothing. Thank you for joining us. It was just absolutely ridiculous what I saw. Well, that from Shobna. I just thought, what are you doing? What? And again, I just thought it's typical of that blooming industry, isn't it? Absolutely ridiculous. They're so busy playing fantasies that they forget that they have to come back into the real world occasionally. You know? Anyway, so that's her. An example of the far left and the dictates getting to people, I think. Somebody mentioned the brainwash word there. It could be that, couldn't it? But certainly that's happening with younger generations, because do-gooding adults around them are enforcing these delusions. We are going to be coming to talk about teachers, one of the pains of my life, very shortly. But before that, something you will not be expecting me to talk about, Who Viewers, and that's football. Yes, the national sport. I believe it's still the national sport here in the UK. Some people would say rugby, but apparently, it's still football. And a story that got to me this week, I couldn't quite believe this one as well. Now, one thing I've always said about is that free speech is very important, hence my free speech union badge. Free speech is important. I might not agree with what people are saying. I might not like what people are saying, but by God, I'm going to stand by their right to say it. Now, it seems to be going an awful long way. I think there are an awful lot of people who are taking the pee out of the British free speech democracy outlook. And there are certain things, of course, where you shouldn't cross a line. There are. But it's getting too out of control now. And there was a story that got me this week, which was actually brought to my attention by the Free Speech Union at freespeechunion.org, about Rangers Football Club here in Scotland. Rangers has condemned a banner displayed at Ibrox reading, "Keep woke foreign ideologies out and defend Europe." Okay, so that's one of the banners. In a statement, the Scottish Premiership Club revealed that the UEFA has launched disciplinary proceedings over the banner, describing it as racist and/or discriminatory. Rangers went further and, in an extraordinary step, publicly told dissenting fans that Rangers is not the club for you. Does this seem familiar to anybody? The club also vowed to identify those responsible and ensure they face consequences. Now, the Free Speech Union also put out the banner, the alleged offending banner. Here it is here. Okay. Is anybody really offended by this? This is an opinion. It's also an opinion that is rising in popularity throughout the United Kingdom. So there it is. That's what all the mess is about. This is what was at Rangers. There's the Rangers fans there. It's just, but the fact is, there's been over the decades, I've seen a lot of things by saying football fans and Doctor Who fans are quite similar. We both do things on Saturdays and we both wear scarves. We both buy merchandise. We both we both give loyalty to our team usually. You know what I'm getting at there. I can see the parallels between being a football fan and being a Doctor Who fan or a science fiction fan. But this latest one, where the Rangers club has come out saying Rangers is not the club for you, sounds very much like what we've had to deal with over the past several years from the producers and actors in Doctor Who. Go touch grass. Not for you anymore. Isn't it weird? Isn't it weird? It's as though these far leftists haven't got a blooming clue about what's going on. And it's all there again, isn't it? It's all there. I've just noticed Steve Henley saying we're creeping into football now, and he's got two angry faces there. But do you see the parallel, Steve? Do you see what I'm getting at? You see what I'm getting at here? Because don't worry, I won't drift off into football that way. I have no idea. I've got no idea about football. A lot of you will know more about football than I do. Kirsty's even saying, "Oh, you will." Cheeky minx. No, but I'm quite dizzy. But you see the parallel, guys, about this. This is why I thought this was interesting. And Nothing is saying he's a big fan of the channel. Oh, well, thank you, Nothing. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. But I just thought, hang on a bit. This sounds very familiar as to what's going on this. And to say to them, Rangers is not the club for you. And then they vow to identify those responsible and ensure they face consequences. The Free Speech Union then goes on to say, consequences for what? Intellectual dissent from divisive ideas imported from the grievance studies departments of US academia? How does opposing an ideology amount to racism? The banner clearly targets ideas, not people. The UEFA is investigating fans for expressing a political view is deeply concerning. That Rangers is not only accepting UEFA's position, but actively working to punish its own supporters is even more troubling. And I'd agree with that, to be quite honest. This is where free speech is really going down the toilet in our country. And we've got a prime minister and people in government saying everything's fine to foreign ministers and foreign presidents. Believe you me, it's not. It really isn't. It's not fine at all. This isn't the Britain that I grew up in, I can assure you, for many different reasons. However, the Free Speech Union then goes on to say, if you are a Rangers fan and you are under investigation, or you know someone who is, you can email or DM the Free Speech Union for help. And it's help@freespeechunion.org. Help@freespeechunion.org. You can also get in touch with them at their freespeechunion.org, their website, or you can look up the Free Speech Union on Facebook. Okay, if you know anybody. You know, it says here, as this latest incident highlights, Scotland is at the forefront of growing restrictions on free speech. It's true. It's absolutely true. And that's why the Free Speech Union has set up Free Speech Union Scotland to defend those facing ideological censorship, whether in football, at work, or online. How it works, for those of you who don't know, we might be one big United Kingdom, but we've got the Westminster government, which was supposed to look after all of us, but mainly concentrate on England, because we've got a Scottish government, a Northern Ireland government, and a Welsh government, all of whom I personally believe should be abolished because they are rubbish. And I can't stand the Scottish one because it's ideologically driven by far leftists who have they can't even tell you what a man is or what a woman is. They get it so confused. So we work differently. We've got slightly different laws. And although it's creeping into England now, up here it's very troubling. In Scotland, it's troubling. They're also having an event in Edinburgh on the 30th of April called Policing Priorities. It's a year into Scotland's controversial Hate Crime Act, which was launched last year. And at this event, they're going to be talking about or asking the questions, has it made Scotland fairer or just more censorious? What happens when feelings dictate legal consequences? And if Scotland is the testing ground, is this a glimpse of what awaits the United Kingdom? So there's an Eventbrite page for all that. You can get more details from the Free Speech Union on Facebook, or by going to the website, which is freespeechunion.org. And if you join them, you get a lovely badge. Look at that lovely badge there. But I just thought that was bizarre about Rangers, and it just struck a chord. I thought, hang on a minute, they're going through what we've got through. Steve Henley, yes, I meant the whole woke stuff creeping into footy. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Do you know Rangers are now also flying that alleged progressive TQ cult flag at the Rangers at Ibrox at the stadium? Why? And I've actually tweeted them or X'd them, whatever you call it now, and I've sent messages via the social media saying, do you realise you are supporting a homophobic cult, a misogynistic cult? And of course, it disappears as people stick their head back in the sand and they don't want to talk about it. They won't want to acknowledge it because there's so many of us, a Legion of James, that are the wrong sort of gays. So we shouldn't be listened to. We are the enemy. as RTD would agree with, I'm sure. Makes me so angry. Shelley Ingalls saying, I hope they will get banned from soccer or football. Football, yeah, we call it football in the UK. You are right, Shelley. Thank you for that. We all have a passion for our chosen hobbies. Exactly, said Bill. And right, Charlie's saying to me, I bought new footy boots yesterday. Well, I hope they didn't have those stupid rainbow laces on. What was the point in those? Honestly, ridiculous. They should have been got rid of years ago. Legion James saying to me again here as well. Oh, yes. The far left handbook, how to alienate your paying fans. It's not for you. Would you give the page number? But the book is non-binary, so has none. Exactly. What I would say to the Rangers fans, though, is do what Doctor Who fans have done, what Star Wars fans have done, what Star Trek fans did, what loads of sci-fi. Stop buying their merchandise. Don't pay for their tickets. Don't pay for your subscription. Don't buy your strips, your new strips every bloody year. Don't be going to their ground for the tours. Stop supporting them. They'll soon come around and start begging you back, because they do that at the moment with Doctor Who to an extent. 1 minute they're saying, it's not for you, go touch grass. And why isn't anybody watching the show? Please come and watch the show. And I don't know about you, but it's been so lackluster this year. I think they've given up even asking us. Even, what do you think? It hasn't been the usual, and we haven't seen any press yet. I think it starts this week, the press, with all the interviews and stuff. So let's see who's going to be on those, shall we, everybody? I'll be very surprised if it's the lead actor. Put it that way. Yes, what else have we got here for everybody here? Nice to see you all. Thanks for joining me for Live at 6. Is that the one run by Toby Young? Yes, it is. Absolutely right, Charlie. Absolutely is. And Craig Dunlop, is Woke Ideology Forum? I really don't know. It seems to have sprung up in every Western country more or less simultaneously. From my point of view, no, it has stemmed from the States. I saw this creeping in several years ago. It's the same for everything when it comes to Britain. Where America goes, we have to follow. I'm hoping that sticks with this now, because in America, because of your new administration that you voted in through a democratic process, they have stripping back on all this DEI, or this woke ideology, this far leftism. Let's see where that goes. But I'm hoping it starts to go over here. Unfortunately, right now, with the government that has been democratically voted in here, sulk, it's not going to happen, because they have completely no plot at all. I don't even know if they know what day it is. Never mind what gender is, honestly. Shelley Ingle, that's good that you guys should have free speech. It's a shame that we have to have something called the Free Speech Union, which has cropped up over the last few years. And I can tell you here from the Free Speech Union, this was actually from Lord Young of Acton, the General Secretary. When I founded the Free Speech Union 5 years ago, I thought free speech was in greater peril than any time since the Second World War. And in the interim, things have only got worse, particularly since the last election. It is the foundational freedom on which all the others depend, but too few people are aware of that. And now with your help, the FSU can play a part in restoring free speech to its central place in our democracy. Since our launch 5 years ago, we've taken on, now get this, more than 3,300 cases. And where those cases have reached a conclusion, we have been successful 79% of the time. It's incredible that people have to go through this for Facebook posts, or not saying a man is a woman, or whatever else, and that you can get our police knocking at your door these days to say, did you say this, or did you do it? It's the truth shouldn't be able to harm you. Free speech is free speech. And yet we've got far left ideology dictating what free speech is. And basically anything that they don't agree with is wrong, and you should be dealt with. Dalek Eyes saying to me, what a load of nonsense that is. There are probably much more spanners promoting isms, etc. And some of the lyrics for footy anthems, most fans would be locked up by these loons. Yeah, yes, exactly. Oh, Bundy 4077, nice to see you. Welcome to Whose Views Not Seen Before. Good news, Snow White has flopped badly. Has it? Are we surprised? The latest Disney live action? It's a shame that they cast such an unlikable alleged actor in the lead role there. She was miscast, another DEI hire. Disney must be regretting that. Apparently it's cost them millions and millions and millions. And they're not going to recoup the money, Bundy, are they? But it's nice to see you. Thank you for that one. But yeah, if it's flopped badly, I'm not going to lose any sleep over that one, because they deserve massive flops. They really do. Andy Owen, nice to see you. They just can't touch grass. And Matthew Pound is saying, well, they've been smoking grass, judging by the writing. Yes, I always equate that to those sort of 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh, we'll just put a drag queen in it. Absolutely ridiculous, isn't it? Nothing is saying to us, it's got nothing to do with the chat, but I watched Snow White yesterday. People think New Who is bad. It makes New Who look like Citizen Kane. I've heard some really bad things about it. I've only watched the Critical Drinkers review, which makes me laugh. I love the fact he's just so honest with this character, and I love his stuff. And he's made it mainstream now, hasn't he? Really has. Well done, him. But I quite like his reviews, and if he says something's going to be bad, I tend to listen to him and save my money, and I'll watch it when it comes on the telly at some point, maybe one day, you know. Oh, lots of you with me. Hi, nice to see you. This, of course, is Live at 6. This is your warm-up show for the big show here on Who's Views. Your Sunday Headlines is coming up at 8 o'clock. Looking forward to that. Lots to talk about in that one, as well as this one. Yeah, Bill, Zegler has cost Disney millions. She's such an unlikable young lady. Really, really, really unlikable. Yeah, I don't know why she bothers, really. Jeremy Music is all nice to see you. I'm late again, but in my defense, it's 5:45 a.m. Well, actually, you're early in that sense, because we're going to be back at 8 o'clock our time. So in a couple of hours' time, or nearly in an hour's time. Yes. So actually, you know, thank you for getting up. Thank you for getting up and seeing us. And poor Rose has just joined us as well. Hi, JT. I keep forgetting about the 6 o'clock show. Keep an eye out for this. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you've got that bell rung, because Live at 6 could appear anywhere. I quite like that. Could appear anywhere. So keep in tune with us. And yes, Jeremy, get yourself a coffee. Now we're going to move on again to another left-wing thing that really frustrated me this week as well. It is this one about this school. Now there's a school in England. It's in Eastleigh in Hampshire, which has driven me mad over the last couple of days. I'm really frustrated. It's Norwood Primary and Preschool, and they've banned Easter. Can you imagine? They have banned Easter. We are a Christian country. Easter is part of our festivals. Now, they've actually been trying to phase out Christmas in, you know, subliminal ways over the last, 10 years. They've been removing Christmas from certain words, or you're not allowed to say this or what have you. It's absolute nonsense. It's all about these idiot far lefters wanting to be inclusive and tolerant and respectful. In fact, the head teacher of this school in Eastleigh, Norwood Primary and Preschool, said she wants to respect diverse religious beliefs by banning Easter. Well, if you're going to ban Easter, you're not respecting diverse religious beliefs, because Christianity is still part of that religious belief, and you've got to respect it because you want to be diverse, you stupid woman. In fact, they've got other plans, as we'll come to in a minute. But Easter is not only just about talking about the traditional of Britain of religion, but also for children, it's also about chocolate and Easter egg hunts, Easter egg chocolates, Easter bonnets, celebrating spring. It's about fun as well. So they're taking all that away from these children. If I was a parent at this school, they'd be out. They wouldn't be going back to school tomorrow. Have a look at this. This is the letter that this lady, this teacher, Miss Manda, has sent to the parents. Dear parents and carers, please. You can tell which side of the political spectrum she's on. As we approach the spring season, I would like to inform you about an important update regarding our school's traditional Easter celebrations. After careful consideration and discussions with our school's community, we have decided not to hold the Easter bonnet parade or the Easter service this year. This decision has been made in the spirit of inclusivity and respect for the diverse religious beliefs represented within our school community. Our school is committed to fostering an environment where every child feels valued and respected, regardless of their religious background. By not holding specific religious celebrations, we aim to create a more inclusive atmosphere that honors and respects the beliefs of all our children and their families. We understand that this change may be disappointing for some, especially those who have cherished these traditions. Traditions? What's she talking about? Over the years. However, we believe that this decision aligns with our values of inclusivity and respect for diversity. We are exploring alternative ways to celebrate the season in future years that will be inclusive of all children and reflect the rich cultural diversity of our community. One of the ways we will be celebrating inclusivity is by taking part in Refugee Week, which occurs in June, as well as beginning our journey to become an accredited school of sanctuary. Bloody hell. Watch this space. In the meantime, we look forward to seeing many of you at the music festival in a couple of weeks. We appreciate your understanding and support as we make this transition. Yeah, I bet you love that term. If you have any questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to contact the school office. What a load of guff. Who is she? She should be fired, in my opinion. Fired. These far left ideological form of an activist have found themselves in education. That's all they push. And I've met some of them in the last few years. And apart from saying go home and get a bath and get changed, I don't think they should be anywhere near children because they're just pure lazy activists. You see some of them on Toki Tiki, don't you, Kirst? Some of them on Toki Tiki. Absolute nonsense. Well, some bright spark on X went off and did some research, which I've nabbed, because it looks like this is what they found here. It looks like the school, Norwood Primary and Preschool, requires improvement for the quality of education. Really, you do surprise me. Goodness me, I'm Refugee Week. What the hell is that? That's something I won't be in part of at all. That's absolutely ridiculous. So they're swapping Easter, a festival that is part of our heritage here in the UK, part of our country's identity. Easter and Christmas, two big events. I love Easter. It's the time when I get together with my family, like Easter, and it brings back so many happy memories of all the family that I've lost. And they're robbing children of time with their families. I bet you, though, they're quite happy to take the 2 weeks off on the Easter break, aren't they? I bet you they are. Unbelievable. Fire, I say. If you're a parent at those schools, get rid of them. Just start taking your kids out of school or do something. But Jeremy Music is saying, yeah, it's not looking good for Christmas. They've tried. Have you noticed the Easter eggs here in the UK? They've taken the word Easter off the Easter eggs. Chocolate egg, they call it now, so as not to offend. What is happening to the United Kingdom? Absolute ridiculous nonsense. David B, the space she refers to is presumably between her ears. And Matthew Pounder is saying Invasion Week. Mark A. Wright, how does banning Easter reflect rich cultural diversity? Diversity doesn't mean erasing one culture at the expense of another. Exactly. And that's all they're going to do. You know, that's what they're doing. Right, Charlie? Don't know if I can say that. Is this a real school, says Jeremy? It sounds like a Doctor Who script. Oh, I bet they love Doctor Who now. I bet she's a big fan. She'll probably turn out to be a Doctor Who fan, I tell you. Peter Venkman, fansite, nice to see you. They've moved backwards. Really, they have. And our country is doing that every single day. It's awful. It really is. And we've got here as well, Bedouin saying, nothing says tolerance and inclusivity like banning references to a religious festival. I'm just so annoyed about this. And I know that I've got friends who are Catholics and they are raging. But I tell you something, the parents need to act. They really need to act. Right, Charlie, I'm not kidding you. I am not kidding you, my friend. And Jason is saying, I urge everyone to join the Free Speech Union. It is vital we protect ourselves and fight back against these miserable leftist Puritans. Diverse is homophobic, anti-Christian, and much more. Yeah. It is, isn't it? It really is. Forbidden Man. The lefties changed May Day to Red Flag Day and Christmas now Easter under attack. Exactly. It's getting tiring. They are taking bits of our country bit by bit. They're rewriting our history. They're saying this happened. Show business has jumped onto all this by saying we've had kings and queens of color and people. We didn't. It's an awful lie. Stop it. It really annoys me. Lots of you in the chat. Nice to see you all, by the way, for this. Milliwigs, nice to see you. St. George's Day, St. David's and Burns Night get one day, but we all have these irrelevant weeks and months. And have you seen London? I mentioned that the other week, didn't I? Have you met the lights in London? Have you seen who the mayor of London is? One of the biggest ists and phobes going and gets away with it. People can't see it because they bend the blooming knee. Plymouth Who, it's good to see you as well. As a man who identifies as a rabbit, I take great offense to these religious types trying to take away my one day of the year that represents me. Fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. I love the fact we can laugh, but we have to stand up for ourselves and we have to challenge these people because they're insane. And Jason says she should be fired and banned from any public office again, and especially kept away from children. She will weaponize children who will grow up to be like her. This is the problem, and we've had this in Doctor Who. Remember Ian was saying throughout the last year on headlines that RTD did something similar from the Star Beast. Paul saw it as well on the Confidential, or what the making show is. It's important that we get the messages through to young people. A bit worrying, really. PTA, Paul Thomas Ashworth, as a Christian, it really offends me of how we're having our faith eroded. It's disgraceful. I also have email updates from the Free Speech Union. We're good for you. And yes, it is. Because if you're a white heterosexual man, anything can happen to you. If you are Christian, anything can be said or done about you, but God forbid, ironically, that you say anything about anything else. Isn't that awful? It's absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking. Oh, I don't know, right, Charlie, if they're going to do that, but it wouldn't surprise me eventually. For the purposes of the podcast, right, Charlie's asking me, are they going to ban white chocolate? It's a matter of time. And Robert Payne says, the funny thing is, the academic year of holidays is arranged around holy days of Easter, Whitsun, Michaelmas, and Christmas. The problem is, this new generation of alleged teachers won't understand that. Won't understand that at all. They're so busy trying to be diverse and inclusive and all these buzzwords. They're making so many mistakes. Lex, it's nice to see you. Make sure you come back with us in nearly an hour's time for headlines. And Julianne saying, I've been telling my niece, leave the country while she's young enough. Take a little girl to a country where they may have a better, where they aren't teaching white Christian guilt. The problem is, though, where would they go, Julianne? I am a great believer in the United Kingdom. I am a great believer in British. I'm very proud to be British. I'm horrified as to where I find Britain today. As I said, this is not the Britain I was born into. I don't recognise it. And all that's going on, and the fact that you can say boo to a goose and you can be arrested for it, and yet somebody's on the street with a sword and won't be challenged in any way, shape, or form. But I still think we have the best, most tolerant society, not wanting to be ironic, in the world when we've got the right people overlooking us. You know, do you know what I mean? Because it's a great country, Britain. It's a great country, but we just need to start growing up a little bit and get people that know what they do, what they're doing. As I said at the top of the show, we need to get the adults back in the room, but I can't see any at the moment. Very quickly as well for you, did you see this one for everyone? Yes, the TARDISes are back with the police. Police imitate Time Lords to catch local crime lords. Hertfordshire Force hope their TARDIS will help exterminate town centre plague of theft and antisocial behaviour. Ties in with what I've just been saying about how I don't recognise Britain. There is a huge increase in theft and antisocial behaviour and no police around to do anything about it. This is from the London Standard. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong one. But this is from, the Telegraph. That's it there. That's what they've built. It's huge, isn't it? So are they anticipating an awful lot of trouble? I don't know, but this is it. Surging crime in Watford town centre has police looking to Doctor Who's TARDIS for inspiration. Hertfordshire Constabulary has submitted a planning application for a new police box as part of a pilot scheme to combat a plague of theft, violent crime and antisocial behaviour. If this pilot program, which will run for 18 months, proves successful in preventing crime, other police boxes could soon join it across the town. Documents explain that the police box would work as potential criminals couldn't be sure if it was occupied by an officer, making them less likely to carry out a crime. So they think there's the details of it there. If you want to buy one, make one for your garden. But look, there's a little desk in it and everything. Plans from architecture firm Vincent and Gorbin claimed a similar box installed in Boscombe and Dorset led to a 35% reduction in crime and antisocial behaviour. They added that the navy blue steel box would reassert the profile of the town's force after the nearby Shady Lane police station was closed. Planning documents explain that a telephone providing a direct phone line to the county control room 24/7 for the public to use would also be installed, along with a defibrillator. Very important. A light on the roof will shine when the external phone is in use, and a small desk will be placed with chairs on opposite sides inside. The box will be bolted to the ground to prevent it being tipped over. The documents failed to mention how much it would cost the force. So there you go. You can get about 4 people on a desk inside there. So it's like a mini police station, basically. Gosh, police boxes returning to Britain, everybody. Isn't that fun? Well, listen, I was going to talk about RTD and its latest rant, but I've run out of time. You're going to have to come back. There's a cliffhanger for you. Come and join myself and Paul and Third Doctor Ian in an hour here on the channel for Headlines, your Sunday big show. Thank you so much for joining me for Live at 6. Go and get yourselves a cup of tea, get yourself a little sandwich or something like that, bit of toast, bit of crumpet. Words. And we will see you very shortly back here at 8 for Headlines. Don't go too far. See you soon.